ZywOo, molodoy, torszi, and 910 all play on the exact same sensitivity. Monesy, Jame, and broky used it for years before switching, and Shiro is off by less than 5%. That is 8 AWPers in the top 10 clustered around one exact setting, 800 EDPI. In today's video, we will be exploring why did the meta settle here, what makes the sens so effective for AWP mechanics, and should you follow the trend? And yes, I'm calling it a trend, because if you go back to 2018 and check HLTV's top 20 AWPers, hardly anyone was using 800 EDPI. And the reason why I picked 2018 is because of this guy. Wee. So this was my first theory. You know, this kid, he was 18 at the time of joining Vitality, comes onto the scene and just immediately starts owning everyone. In his first rookie year of 2019, he beats Simple and gets the Best Player of the Year award. And you have to understand, now we have Donk as well, but think of this something like ZywOo had to walk so Donk could run. This was unprecedented that like a random guy that nobody knows about at 18, at 19 at the time, just explodes as the best player in the world. And so if you are a seasoned pro, you are watching literally every single demo of this guy, right? Like surely he is doing something differently, he is doing something that nobody else is that allows him to be this good. You know, you're trying out ZywOo's hood color for goodness sake, and obviously one of the bigger things is the sensitivity. And I think a lot of pros just tried ZywOo's sens and it felt really good, so they just kind of stuck with it. In fact, what you'll see is that over time, if you use Wayback Machine and check pro settings, every year more and more AWPers kind of fell into the 700 to 900 EDPI range. Now that we understand that almost all of the pro AWPers find this range the most comfortable, let's actually figure out why. But you know what you don't need to figure out? Where to sell your skins. As you know, Valve recently introduced the Steam trade protection system, meaning all trades can now be cancelled within 7 days. But what if I told you you don't have to wait 7 days? Skin.Land is back and you can cash out instantly. And this is why pros choose Skin.Land, as they recently became the official partner of Team Vitality. Just insert your trade URL, select skins to sell, enter your email, and choose one of the many withdrawal methods. Or you can buy a different skin from their marketplace with prices way lower than Steam. The CS market recently crashed, so now is the perfect time to buy the dip. There are also many ways to deposit, and the best part is that you can get $10 free today by selling over $100 in skins and entering my promo code TWIST. I'd say 80% of the time in pro play, your job as an AWPer is literally micro corrections. If you're holding an angle and somebody full swings you, you have to flick a little bit to one side, and if they jiggle you, you have to flick a little bit to the other. That's it. As boring as that sounds, if you are doing your job correctly and you are correctly predicting where the next fight will come from, literally all you need is just boop, get a kill, boop, get a kill. And so to be good at these micro corrections, the lower the sens, the generally better, because you can just be more pinpoint accurate. Remember, you only have one chance. This is not rifling where you can adjust the spray a little bit. You have to be on point every single time. And so the higher the sens, the harder it will be to do these micro corrections. Now I know some people might say that playing on a low sens with an AWP feels super sluggish and, you know, speed is key because flicking and everything. But in my opinion, for every increment that you go up in sensitivity, you lose a lot more in precision than you actually gain in speed. I mean, look at monesy, right? The guy's nickname is literally the Flash, and for the majority of his career, he played on 800 EDPI, which is definitely not considered fast. It's kind of below medium, right? But then you might say, well, if lower sensitivity is better for an AWPer, why not just go super low? Why not go like 400 EDPI? You can, like, look at Guardian, he was dominating the world for a long time playing on a super low sens, but the lower sens might make you a lot better at the 80% that we talked about. What also matters are the 20%. So your second most important job as an AWPer are bigger flicks. Let's say you are holding an angle and you fully expect the player to be there, but even with your best predictions, he just peaks from a different spot. And it just so happens that on 800 EDPI, most people will be able to flick to the end ranges of their scope in one swift motion of the wrist. Obviously, this is still true for 700 or 900, but if you go any higher than 900, you're just kind of wasting a lot of real estate where, again, you can be more accurate because there is more flick that you can utilize. And if you go lower than 700, well then you can't just flick with your wrist. You actually have to, it has to be a movement in the elbow as well. So 800 in this regard again is perfect. Then if you're not micro correcting or doing larger flicks, most likely as the star op or the star player of the team, you're playing rotation, which means a lot of times you're just walking on scope. And it just so happens that again on 800 DDPI, when you fully flick your wrist to the left or the right side, you'll be able to clear 90-degree angles, which is the most you will ever need for almost all engagements. I say most because then there are also 180-degree turns, and it is this kind of thing where how often are you really in tier 1 gonna turn 180 and kill the player before he has killed you in the back, right? And for riflers this is almost never, unless you literally 180 flick and one-shot headshot them.
Planted! 5 seconds, dude! 5 seconds, dude! 5 seconds! Oh, dude! What?
But for AWPers, there are times where, you know, somebody approaches you from the back, let's say it's Nico, he whiffs the first 2 bullets, and if you're able to fully 180-degree turn and just one-tap him, you know, with the AWP, you win the fight. And so again, it just so happens that if you do almost a full sweep with the elbow joint, you'll be able to do 180-degree turns on 800 DPI. So I think you start to understand why so many pro AWPers have chosen to be in the 700 to 900 range. We don't talk about toxic. Now obviously the question now comes, should you play with it? Hell, maybe you should even try it if you're a rifler. And I think the answer is you should start there. If you are not feeling good and comfortable with your current sensitivity, even if you are a rifler, 800 really is the middle ground of the suggested 600 to 1000 DDPI that like 90% of CS pros fall in. So start at 800. It obviously just won't magically make you good, but it might be the best sense for your current aim level. Like, I've played high, I've played low, and for the past week I've been trying 2 on 400, and honestly, opping feels great. But if it doesn't for you, and you feel like you're under flicking in fights, maybe your rifle fights feel very sluggish and slow, just go up by 100 EDPI and try again for a week. And if on the opposite you feel like you're over flicking and, you know, you can't properly track people with a rifle, then go down by 100 EDPI. And if it still feels off, then start adjusting by smaller increments. But I think 800 EDPI is just such a good sensitivity for AWPers to start with. And even for riflers, this can be the perfect middle ground unless you're playing super aggressive entries or just side anchor. So try it yourself. I think I've put together a pretty good case for why almost all the pro AWPers are using 800 DPI, but if I missed something, please do tell me, and subscribe if you're new here. I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.